Bart, and the rest of you hooligans, your days are numbered. That's right, tonight at the Sportatorium, you will see the man. His father and I fought head-to-head in many, many areas of the world. The master of the Iron Claw. Need I say more? The man that has destroyed more wrestlers than any other wrestler in the history of the sport. And I told you nobody can break the lethal weapon of the master of the Iron Claw. The man is Kevin Von Erich.
Hello, everybody. It's Kevin Von Erich here. It's great to be back in Dallas. Tonight, I'm going to be doing something probably none of you are going to believe, but it's going to be Akbar in my corner against Greg Valentine. Now, I know you may think I'm crazy because Akbar is, he's Akbar. But anytime Akbar said he's going to do something, he's done it. If he says he's going to throw fire on somebody, he does it. If he says he's going to hurt someone, he does it. Well, tonight, Akbar is going to be in my corner, and I'm going to be going against Greg Valentine. You remember Johnny Valentine versus Fritz, the kind of matches those were? Greg would be in the back watching, and I would be on the other side, and I'd watch too. And I'd look over and I'd see Greg, and I'd think, I wonder if I could whip that guy. And he'd look and think the same thing about me. Well, we've wrestled a few times, and now I hear Greg's telling everyone that he's beat me. So come on down, and let's see how it goes tonight, okay? Folks, I'm looking forward to this, and I'm back. And I'm back for a good reason, because competition has come to Dallas the kind I like. So I'll see you in the ring, and I'm going to give it all I got. I'll see you there.
Our second match, and I guess we should tell you that it is Chico Caballa against Al Walker, but I am stunned. I am absolutely speechless. Tully Blanchard has joined me here, and I wanted to hear your comments, Tully. Akbar has just told us that he will be bringing in tonight Kevin Von Erich to take on Greg Valentine. Now, the Valentine-Von Erich family, those two have feuded for years, but I just cannot believe Von Erich being managed by Akbar.
Well, Joe, you know, I tell you, it's a picture is worth 1,000 words. We can talk about it, we can hear about it, but the thing about it is we saw it. Skandar Akbar and Kevin Von Erich. I tell you, we got great action here with the NWA, but Joe, who would have ever thought it?
I'm just lost. I mean, in the ring, we've got a really good match with Al Walker and Chico Caballa, and I don't mean to slight them, but I've got to tell you, that's one of the most historic announcements in the history of wrestling. Akbar and his Devastation Incorporated against the Von Erichs just shook this building for many years. And the Valentines, I mean, obviously, Kevin Von Erich wants so much to get into the ring again against the Valentine because of the feud between their families. As he said, he'll take Akbar's money.
Well, you know, Joe, you sit and you think about it. You talk about all the professional wrestling that there is on television, and you talk about Kevin Von Erich maybe never coming back to the ring. You talk about Tully Blanchard never getting back in the ring. Jim Crockett Promotions is putting it all back together. The NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance, is putting it all back together. You're seeing young stars like this that are trying to make a name for themselves. And, you know, you talk about Kevin Von Erich, you talk about Greg the Hammer Valentine and the great matches of Fritz Von Erich and John Valentine. And, you know, I tell you what, you can't throw away Joe Blanchard.
No,
my father
has
been in this squared circle in the Sportatorium many, many times in Dallas, Texas, and bled and fought Fritz and fought Valentine and Wahoo McDaniels and all the great names of professional wrestling that have been in this thing. It's only right that Dallas, Texas regain the place it is in the wrestling world, and the National Wrestling Alliance becomes the capital in Dallas, Texas. Big D, the home of world champions, in and out, except for maybe basketball. But I'm going to tell you what, Jim Crockett Promotions, the National Wrestling Alliance, have put it all back together. They've been able to put it back together to get a Greg Valentine back in the ring, to get Kevin Von Erich in the ring. And you know what, Joe? To see two guys like this, even get Tully Blanchard back in the ring.
Back into the ring.
When Flair couldn't do it, WCW couldn't do it, but it took Jim Crockett and the NWA to get it happen.
Well, I know, Tully, we're going to see you in action later on today and in today's program. And you know, Tully, if somebody had told me that tonight at the Sportatorium, Kevin Von Erich was going to take on Greg Valentine for the North American title, that alone would have been a big shock. But if you had told me who Von Erich's manager was going to be, that it was going to be Skandar Akbar, I would have bet the mortgage. But we just saw the announcement. It's going to happen tonight.
Well, you know, what about Chris Adams against Tully Blanchard?
Well,
who would have ever thought that?
All right, I was gonna bring that up. You're gonna be out here for a few minutes. I was gonna bring up what happened last week, and I was gonna ask you your thoughts on that. But right now, Cabello is at the top rope, comes down, cross body.
That was close right there.
Actually had a little bit too much in it, and now a drop kick there. That time, Walker just throws the drop kick aside.
Well, you know, you talk about Chris Adams. There was some potential there. He's a very, very talented wrestler. I know he's wrestled a lot of people. 2, 3
count.
That's it.
Belly to back gets you.
We'll
a
talk
3
about
count.
Chris Adams in the next segment.
All right, your winner there is Cabello. And as we go back and take a look, a missed move leads to the opportunity on our instant replay. Cabello there with the belly to back, and there is your 1, 2, 3 count, and Walker very surprised, but Cabello is the winner. We'll be back, but we're going to go right now to Bonnie Blackstone. She has got Greg Valentine, and I'm sure that he has got some interesting words.
Bonnie Blackstone back with you once again with a lot of excitement with NWA Championship Wrestling. I'm here with the North American champion, Greg the Hammer Valentine. A lot of excitement going on at the Sportatorium. A big can of worms opened up. General Skandar Akbar and this alliance now with Kevin Von Erich of all people.
Well, it all started when Skandar Akbar brought me down last week, and a big mess happened where he caused me to lose a match. Greg the Hammer Valentine actually lost the match because of Skandar Akbar. And now he's made this strange alliance with Kevin Von Erich, and I don't understand it. One thing I do understand is tonight in Dallas, Texas, I'm putting this North American heavyweight title on the line. But you know something, Bonnie Blackstone? This is not the North American title.
Texas heavyweight belt.
This is the Texas heavyweight title, heavyweight championship belt that my father, the famous Johnny Valentine, retired. He retired with this belt. He retired the Texas State Championship. And you know something? The Von Erich and Valentine feud ended. It ended with this belt. Yeah. And Von Erich's name is nowhere on here. There's all kinds of names on here. Wahoo McDaniel, the list goes on. But nowhere do I see Von Erich. Von Erich, tonight, we're going to find out who is the greatest, Valentine or Von Erich. And you're looking at it right here.
The huge man you see in the ring, he is taking on Rick Guerin. And Tully, I know you know a little bit about this man, Big Ed Brock. You've seen him wrestling some over on the East Coast.
Well, you know, Joe, Ed Brock is a man trying to make a name for himself, as a lot of people are. You know, you want to be something. You want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. You want to be a world champion. And you look at Ed Brock, he's out here using intimidation tactics. He's got 21, 22-inch arms. He's aggressive. He's everything that you might want in a professional wrestler.
Oh, my goodness. He seems to have a very roughhouse type style.
And it's stuff like that will make a name for yourself. But you know, last week you saw Chris Adams and myself in a tag team match, and everybody makes a few mistakes, and Chris seems to be a little bit upset with me, you know, because Michael Hayes moved and I accidentally hit him with an elbow. But you know. Does it sound too boastful? You know, I kind of wrote the book on tag team wrestling.
Right. I'll go along with that.
I've been gone. My life has been changed a little bit, but you know, that doesn't mean that I'm not a man. I'm not intense. I'm not a winner. And you know, Chris wants to sit out here in Dallas, Texas for all these years and talk about being somewhere. Well, I was all over the country. I was all over the world, being the world's tag team champion, being the world's television champion. You know, if Chris Adams wants a little bit of me, I'm not afraid of anybody.
But Tully, you know, that was an accident, obviously, last week, and I just hate to see you two, you know, go at it. Hopefully this match tonight at the Sportatorium will be a clean, scientific match between two scientific wrestlers who just need to get something out in the open.
Well, it's really a test of two different areas of the United States. One that wanted to be great, one that was great, finally mixing. The National Wrestling Alliance is putting it together. Jim Crockett Promotions is putting it together. And I'm going to go to the ring intense to win, and that's just the way it is.
Well, as I said, I just hope tempers don't flare up, and I hope you two can have a good wrestling match. Just remember that big sign outside the Sportatorium says home of NWA Wrestling. And Lord, I mean, Tully, I know that if there's anybody out there that knows how to do it both ways, it's you. But, you know, the Tully Blanchard that we've seen of recent, I hope you guys get in the ring and have a good match.
Well, Joe, I'm going to be there tonight, and I have never forgot that the marquee said wrestling, and I was very, very good at it.
Oh,
I wore many, many championship belts, and I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, tonight Chris Adams is going to get a wrestling lesson, if nothing else.
All right, Big Ed Brock has got Rick Guerin, and he's, you know, he is quite a bit larger, and he so far has just actually been pummeling Rick Guerin. And it seems like every time Guerin tries to go on the offense, Brock comes back and does something like this, takes and just throws Guerin into the corner, clotheslines him down. And things don't look very good right now for Rick Guerin, but I'll tell you, I have seen young Mr. Guerin in some matches previously, and he gets his high-flying act going and his finesse act going, and he may just turn things around.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. Good move
or
by
maybe
Ed Brock
not.
Right there. 2.
There's your 3 count. All right, there is your winner, Big
Ed Brock trying to make
Brock.
a name for himself, Joe. I tell you, it's something else.
Let's go back and take a look on our instant replay. You see him throwing Guerin into the ropes, and as he comes off, swings him around, drops him down, and gets the 1, 2, 3. Tully, I know you've got to go. You have got a match coming up, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the ring, and I guess good luck tonight against Chris Adams.
Well, thank you.
We'll be back with more, including Tully Blanchard in the ring right after this. Welcome back to NWA Championship Wrestling. In the ring now, Tully Blanchard. He is taking on Dan Davis, and joining me at ringside is the other half of the match we were just talking about that will take place tonight. Gentleman, Chris Adams. And Chris, welcome to ringside. We're going to be seeing Tully in the ring now. I know that there was a little problem last week, but as I told Tully just a few minutes ago here on the program, I hope tonight you two can go in the ring, have the kind of scientific match that you two could have, and just get this behind us, and just, you know, have it, as I reminded him, it's wrestling.
Well, I hope so, Joe. You know, I just like to tell you what a pleasure it is to all of us to be back together. You know, the NWA is in Dallas now. It's the nucleus of wrestling. It was the start of the great professional wrestling, in my opinion, and it's here in Dallas, and I'm really, really pleased to be part of it. You know, Tully is a great wrestler, but to me, I've been watching Tully all through his career. He's been watching me all through my career. In my opinion, Tully is a fantastic wrestler, but he has this attitude problem. Now, I don't know if he's got rid of the attitude problem or whether he hasn't, you know, but last week, he says it was an accident. I do believe it was an accident, but there's no need to mouth off at me, you know, when we got outside the ring. You know, that was totally uncalled for.
Well, like I said, let's just, tonight at the Sportatorium, let's just have a good match and show the fans and the viewers that will be there a really good quality wrestling match. Now, right now, Dan Davis taking some shortcuts against Tully Blanchard. Probably not a real good move because Tully wrote the book on a lot of these shortcuts.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say, Joe. You know, he wrote the book on the shortcuts. I hope it's a clean wrestling match tonight, I really do. But if he does take shortcuts, I think Chris Adams can take a few shortcuts too.
Chris, let me ask you, you saw the announcement a little bit earlier by Skandor Akbar. He is bringing in the return of Kevin Von Erich to take on Greg Valentine. I don't know about you, but I went into shock.
I went into shock too. I mean, you know, what's the deal? Akbar, longtime enemy of all the Von Erichs, not just Kevin. I don't know whether Akbar's had a change of heart. I don't know whether
I just think he's desperate, and I think he went out and found somebody who wanted to get in the ring with a Valentine, Greg Valentine, more than he cared about who his manager was. And I think Von Erich just knows that Skandor Akbar wants to get back at Valentine too, and they're teaming together. But what a shock. History tonight. I mean, as many times as history has been made in the Sportatorium, it will be made tonight, in my opinion, in one of the biggest ways ever.
It really will. I mean, you know.
What a move by Rick Guerin there.
Looks like Tully's
Dan Davis. Dan Davis comes off and does a jaw jacker, and I don't think Tully was expecting that, and now several boots to the chest of Tully Blanchard.
I hope that Kevin can trust Akbar. That's all I need. You know, that's all I really need to say about that. I will be watching from the back, though, Joe, because I know Akbar of old. I hope the thing works out, but, hey, we'll see.
There is a clothesline, and Dan Davis drives Tully Blanchard to the ring. Picks him up, goes for a slam, slams Tully Blanchard, and now drops an elbow right down onto that chest. Obviously, Davis is trying to take the breath away from Tully Blanchard and make it harder for Tully to breathe and stop that flow of oxygen. But there's the kind of thing we were talking about.
Yeah, that shortcut, Joe. You know, Tully, I mean, he was member of the Four Horsemen. He's been World Tag Team Champion. He's traveled all over the world, and that's all fine, you know, but it just goes to show you cannot be a nice person in professional wrestling. This is professional wrestling, and after all, we are out there to win. And you know, Tully, if you're listening to me right now, you may as well know that I will be out to win. I know you will too, but I think it's going to be not only a wrestling match, but it's going to be a fight.
A standing drop kick by Davis on Blanchard, and Tully Blanchard catching Davis as he comes in. Blanchard is going to have to go back on the offensive in a strong way here.
Blanchard has been down, you know, much more than this, Joe. You know, during the Four Horsemen, they had some fantastic battles with anybody and everybody. And I think Tully has been through everything that there is to go through, and I feel secure that Tully will probably pull this match off.
Tully Blanchard now with reverse chin lock on Dan Davis. You know, another match taking place tonight at the Sportatorium is that one with Tony Norris against Black Bart. These two have really been at each other over the past couple of weeks, and it's going to be good to see that come to a head tonight at the Sportatorium. Of course, wrestling every Saturday night at the Sportatorium as the NWA brings wrestling to Dallas, Texas, the mecca of professional wrestling. There's a cross body, 1, 2, and Blanchard just barely kicking out at the 2 mark.
You know, just that name, NWA, Joe, it just kind of gives me a chill down the back of my spine. Like I say, I'm real pleased to be part of it. And this is just what I was talking about.
There it is.
Tully Blanchard. Look, he pulled it out.
There it is. 1, 2, and the slingshot with a 1, 2, 3. Tully Blanchard is the winner of this match.
He's good, I'll give him that, but tonight he's going to have more of a fight than that.
All right, let's go back and take a look at that in instant replay. As you can see, Tully picks him up on the ropes in that patented slingshot. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over. Your winner of the match, Tully Blanchard. Good luck tonight, Chris, and we're going to be back with more, including a great tag team match right after this.
Thanks, Joe.
Championship Wrestling. A great look there at Tully Blanchard. But tonight at the Sportatorium, Junkyard Dog, it's 6-man excitement.
It's 6-man excitement. Like I said, in the beginning, there was creation and earth. There was darkness. There was lightness. There was the regulator, a man that I stand up proud for because he shows what a natural man is all about. And right here tonight, oh, that 6-man tag. It could be Dog. It could be the Young Bloods. It could be the regulator. It could be anybody in my pound. But what I'm proud of, this big man, the regulator, came down to the Dog Age. Ain't saying nothing about no friend, but it's beginning every ending. That's the name of my story.
Let's talk about Black Bart.
Black Bart,
Yes, sir.
tonight I watch you jump on the Dog. Tonight I watch the Hammer jump on the Dog. I tell you what, you want to jump, jump this way. If you're going to jump in the lake, boys, make sure you can swim. All right? Because I'm coming at you like a tidal wave.
There it is.
Tag team action as the NWA Championship Wrestling program continues this Saturday. And in the ring right now, we have got Scott Putski and Larry Silman. Putski's partner outside the ring is Curtis Thompson. Silman's partner is the masked man, Aries. And this should be quite an interesting tag team match. Putski, of course, I am sure, is getting ready for his big match coming up tonight at the Sportatorium. He's got to be going through his mind. A lot of great things going to be happening there tonight. And as Putski, as you can see, is extremely well developed. And now we've got Aries coming in the ring against Putski. And Putski now backbreaker and a slam. 1, 2, and Putski going for the pinfall in a hurry there. Tag Curtis Thompson. Thompson is in. Twist the arm, twist it again. Work it on the arm of Aries. Folks, I've got to tell you, I am just still absolutely befuddled by Skandor Akbar and Kevin Von Erich. I mean, I would never in my life have thought that these two would be going into cahoots together. But Akbar was put in a very strange position. You saw that last week, and he was put in a very strange position when nobody would come to help. It seemed like everybody had turned on him, and everybody was working against him, and nobody would come and help him. So he went out, and you've got to say one thing about Akbar. He's always been known as being a genius when it comes to the wrestling ring. And he figured out the one man out there who could maybe take up his role and go after Greg the Hammer Valentine, and that was Kevin Von Erich. Many people here in Texas will tell you the only besmirchment on the Von Erich name came from the Valentine family and one Johnny Valentine. And now Kevin Von Erich sees the opportunity to rectify that, and he is even willing to be managed by Akbar to do that. So it is going to be a very interesting match, and all I can say is, of course, our fans watching in Atlanta, it's going to be a little bit of a long ways to go. But for you fans in Dallas, I urge you, be at the Sportatorium tonight to see that match. Putski and Aries now. And Putski over. Aries working on the arm. And Aries has got Putski down, and he's working on that arm. He's twisting it. He's got it barred, which, of course, is putting pressure not only at the shoulder, but on the elbow and the wrist. And now look at how he's got that turn. He is putting intense pressure. And let me tell you something, folks. No matter how muscular you are, those joints are not meant to turn that way. And there is a lot of pain involved. Aries brings Putski up. Now where's he going to take him? Just rams his head back down, and you can see the arm just sitting there. Aries going after it. Putski turns over. Aries comes off, comes out. Putski moves, and Aries hits right on the mat with the elbow. Tags in Larry Silman. Silman, a big man, comes in and chops Putski, takes him back into the corner, throws him into the ropes, follows him in, but Putski is waiting. Putski is waiting with a clothesline. Now both men have obviously been stunned here. Actually, both men need to make a tag. Putski does tag in Curtis Thompson. In comes Curtis. It just goes right after Larry Silman. Silman had the opportunity to make a tag, but wasn't able to. Comes off. There's a drop kick. Silman goes down. Aries comes in, but Thompson is waiting. All four men are in the ring. All four men now, and the referee having trouble keeping composure in this one. Curtis Thompson and Silman, the legal men. What is Thompson going to do? He looks like he's going for the pile driver. He's got Silman up. And yes, that front pile driver turns Silman over. 1, 2, 3. There are your winners, the team of Scott Putski and Curtis Thompson, victorious. Let's go back and take a look at the instant replay. As you can see, it's that pile driver, and that leads right to a 1, 2, 3. Putski and Thompson are your winners.
NWA Championship Wrestling action tonight at the world-famous Sportatorium in downtown Dallas. On tonight's card, Kevin Von Erich was...
Welcome back to NWA Championship Wrestling. I'm Joe Pedicino. We're coming to you from the world-famous Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas. Tag team action in the ring. The Youngbloods, Mark and Chris Youngblood, they are taking on the Hard Riders. And we saw this match last week. The Hard Riders able to come out on top in that match. And you heard Michael Hayes say that he thought they just needed some creative counseling, some guidance. So he is at ringside. He is with the Hard Riders this week at ringside for this rematch. And let's see if that makes a difference. If I were Chris and Mark, and there you see Michael Hayes, and he is watching intensely as this team, the Hard Riders, are in the ring. And of course, we're talking about Hard Rider Rick and Hard Rider Frank, and they are, this is Frank in the ring right now. And he is in the ring with Mark Youngblood. All right. Chris Youngblood now thrown into the ropes. Off he comes, and Youngblood goes into the ropes again. Off, comes back and over. And just like we saw last week, there's going to be a lot of action in this match. There's going to be a lot of fighting because the Hard Riders, let me tell you something about these guys. They are street fighters. They're from Hell's Kitchen. And as you can see, they know how to fight. But there's a double boot right to the face of the Hard Rider. And now the Youngbloods, obviously the Youngbloods not very happy about this situation. They won the match last week. They think they won it fair and square. Everything looked on the upright to me. The referee saw it as okay. It seems that the Hard Riders and Michael Hayes were the only ones who didn't think that it was right. So tonight, Michael Hayes at ringside says he'll keep an eye and he'll tutor, if you will. He will give, I like his wording, creative consulting to the team of the Hard Riders. And now you see the Youngbloods working on the arm of the Hard Rider. Hard Rider Frank goes down now to the mat. 1, 2, and he gets his shoulder up in time. As the Youngblood there has him down. Look at him twisting that. Can you see now? Good camera work. Could you see how that wrist was being bent back and pushed against the mat? A lot of pain there. The Youngblood tagging off again. Mark Youngblood in the ring. Brings the arm over. Got it now in a hammerlock. And Hard Rider Frank with a yank of the hair. Hayes not very happy about what he's seeing in the ring right this minute. There's a reversal. The Hard Rider throw, and they, hey, I got to tell you, it was a good move. It was, you know, I'm not happy about it, but it was a smart move on the part of the Hard Riders. They literally threw Mark Youngblood into the other Hard Rider who was outside the ring. There's a tag. Now they've got that 5 count to throw him in. There's a double kick. Now they're coming off the ropes, and a hard slam face first into the ring. The Hard Riders now taking over on Mark Youngblood. Bringing him over, and let me say this. You can see the influence of Michael Hayes already on the Hard Rider. You can see that they are using that street fighting, but they are now using some tactics. Hayes has always been the master of this chess game we call professional wrestling. He's always been 3 moves ahead of his opponent. He's always tried to stay just a step ahead. And this looks like what he's brought to the Hard Riders. As you can see right there, that's exactly what's happening. The Hard Riders have literally just polished up some of the moves they've made and done a lot of things now to polish up their ring tactics, and you can see a difference right now in the team of the Hard Riders as they are taking it to the Youngbloods. Mark over the top. 1. And you can see Hayes telling the referee, hey, you only got a 1 count. Get a hold. 2, 3, go. They are continuing to work over Mark Youngblood. You can see a difference in the Hard Riders this week. Their tactics, their teamwork, their thinking, their strategy, and this means a lot of trouble, not only for the Youngbloods, for other teams here in the NWA. Because if this team comes under the tutelage of one Michael Hayes, as you see right there, then it's going to mean trouble for a lot of tag teams. The Hard Riders right now just absolutely have the upper hand on Mark Youngblood. And Mark trying to fight his way out of the corner. He's got to work on both men, but he's trying to fight out and just not able to make it so far. The Hard Riders keeping him in the corner. And once again, you wonder if that is something that Michael Hayes has taught this team. Now look at this. While one Hard Rider keeps the official at bay, the other Hard Rider does the damage on Mark Youngblood. There's a tag. A chop by Mark Youngblood. All right, the Hard Riders into the ropes, comes off with a kick to Mark Youngblood.
Where you at? That was 3.
A lot of tag team action also on the card for tonight. You'll see the Hard Riders and Michael Hayes in a 6-man tag take on these Youngbloods and their partner, the Junkyard Dog. That ought to be a great match. Also, as we told you, and what we hope, and I want to emphasize hope, will be a scientific match. It will be gentleman Chris Adams against Tully Blanchard. But folks, both of those men have tempers you never know what's going to happen. Tony Norris will be taking on Black Bart, and in the shocker, in just an absolute shocker, Skandor Akbar is bringing back and bringing in Kevin Von Erich to take on Greg the Hammer Valentine for the North American title. That is going to be a match that I would not miss. The Hard Riders continuing now to have the upper hand on Mark Youngblood. Mark trying to make the tag, trying to get over to Chris Youngblood, but literally inches away before he is dragged back into the middle of the ring by the Hard Rider. Hard Rider Rick in the ring with a headlock of sorts, and now turns around and it's almost a modified camel clutch. But once again, while the Hard Rider is being distracted, Youngblood came in and broke it up. In the meantime, Hard Rider Frank comes in. They're going to make the switch. No tag was made, but they're right there in the corner. The referee didn't see it. And the referee, all right, now, again, look at the way the Hard Riders are distracting our official. The Hard Rider now. Frank brings Mark Youngblood over. Mark has been in the ring quite a while. You have to wonder if Mark Youngblood is going to be able to continue to take this double teaming from the Hard Riders. I think you will admit that the tag team workmanship, the tag team tactics, the strategy of the Hard Riders this week has been much improved over last week, and I think you can only credit that or blame that, whichever way you want to look at it, on one Michael P.S. Hayes. There's the tag, and Hard Rider Rick comes in. Great strategy keeping Mark away from his partner. Mark has been in the ring now for quite a few minutes, and he's obviously being worn down. And they're continuing to work now on that neck, twisting that neck. Great wrestling action in the ring today on NWA Championship Wrestling. Of course, the NWA, the oldest wrestling organization in the world. The wrestling organization that has brought viewers and fans professional wrestling the way it ought to be for many years. Now making its home in Dallas, Texas, and in the world-famous Sportatorium, the mecca of professional wrestling. And that's why right there you can see Chris Youngblood has come in the ring as the tag was made, and he is like a house on fire as he has. Now, what are they going to do here? Ram the heads of the Hard Riders together, and then double drop kick. Outside the ring, Michael Hayes is going nuts. Double chop. Hard Rider Frank in the ring right now. Up he goes. Now, look at this move. Literally slingshots him over the rope. 1, 2, and Hard Rider Rick gets in the ring just in time to make the save. Michael Hayes directing traffic from outside, not very happy. All four men are in the ring. In one corner, we've got a Youngblood with the advantage. In the other corner, it's a Hard Rider. There goes into the corner, and as you can see, a big boot right to the face. This one is getting out of hand. All right, here goes Chris Youngblood to the top rope. Just like last week, he's going to come off with that chop. Wait a minute, Michael Hayes goes into the ring. Michael Hayes goes up on the ring apron and knocks Chris Youngblood onto the rope. And there is a DDT. 1, 2, 3, and it's a different case this week because of the outside interference of that man right there, Michael P.S. Hayes. Let's go back and take a look. There goes Youngblood up on the rope. No doubt he's going to come off with that chop, and we're going to have an ending just like last week. But no, Hayes knocks him off into the ring. At that point, it is a DDT and 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute, let's come back and go to ringside. Mark Nolte has these men at ringside.
Freebird Michael P.S. Hayes, your consulting was a little more than just creative, but still it's a very impressive win for your team.
Shut up. First of all, I run things around here, and I don't think anybody's forgot that. Now, a lot of people would like to know what we might have in common. Could it first of all be our admiration for Harley Davidsons and black leather? No. Could it also be that all three of us leave a little bit to be desired as far as table manners and etiquette? No. Could it be that all three of us feel that women are only good for three things and they can't do but one of them right? No. The reason I like these kids is because they're excellent street fighters and they're learning how to wrestle. And with my guidance, they're going to learn more. So when they pound your brains in, then they're going to pull your arm or your leg off. Now, let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about right here tonight. And you want to talk about historic situations. I, in my life, have never hated anyone except Skandar Akbar like I do. But the man that he has gone and gotten makes me so sick to my stomach that I don't even care about mentioning his name. But tonight, all hell's gonna break loose. And part of it is gonna be with me and my boys in a six-man, and these idiots over here went and got the Junkyard Dog. Well, Junkyard Dog, you're no stranger to me. But there's something that's going to be a little bit stranger to you. This is Dallas, Texas. This is the Sportatorium, and history goes down when I say it does.
For Joe Pedicino and Bonnie Blackstone, my name is Mark Nolte. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you right here next week.
For Tully Blanchard faces Chris Adams. We'll see Chico Cavello take on Jeff Gretler. Chaz, the Gangster of Love, will face Dapper Dan. Action Jackson goes against the Wolfman. Six-man tag action with the Youngbloods and Junkyard Dog facing the Hard Riders and their creative consultant, Michael T.S. Hayes. And in our main event, Sam Houston will face Buddy Landell. It's an hour you don't want to miss from the NWA. Hi, everybody, and welcome to NWA Championship Wrestling. In the ring, Tully Blanchard and Chris Adams. We are joining this match in progress. There are always some great main event matches that we don't show on television every Saturday night at the Sportatorium.
Well, of course not, because we're not, catering to these freeloaders that sit at home and don't have nothing but...
For our fans.
Okay, but their fans are not. They're freeloaders, and if you're going to see the big deal, you're going to have to come down here. And if you don't hurry up, you're not going to get a seat.
Well, I tell you, the crowds are growing every week. Great matches, and as we said, you see great action here on NWA television, but until you see it live and in person, like a building like the Sportatorium, you just haven't really seen it.
No, and you talk about live and in person. Tonight, live and in person, Kevin One-Legged Von Erich and Chris Adams against Dirty Dick Murdoch and Black Bart right here tonight in the Sportatorium. I was just ribbing.
Listen, I want to talk to you for just 1 second about something, and that is Scott Putski. Real quick, we got some great action going on in the ring. Putski has challenged you for another match. He was very upset over the fact that the way you won that match a few weeks ago. He wants another chance.
Well, no, what you mean to say he's very upset that he lost. Plain and simple, and that's the end of the story. There's not another chapter. I will never, mark my words, never wrestle Scott Putski again. There's nothing to settle there. I've already proved my point.
Well, I think that you're going to find he's going to be chasing you, and there may be. You say you'll never wrestle him again. That's up to you and the competition committee. But right now, Tully Blanchard is outside the ring. Now, all right, here goes Chris Adams. This is always a dangerous situation when the two men are outside the ring.
Well, James Beard right on top of the action, and I do not envy his position right now. I do not envy him. He's trying to get one of them back in the ring. Blanchard's back in now.
Blanchard goes into the ropes, comes off. Adams knew what was coming, and both of them trying to think one step ahead, and it ended up with them head-to-head right in the middle of the ring, and they're both down.
Well, these guys have been going a long time. You can see fatigue starting to settle in. But we're going to see who's in the best shape and who can really suck it up here.
Adams head first into that ring mat. Blanchard with a quick cover gets a 2 count. Blanchard going up onto the top rope. Up on the top rope, but Adams comes up, catches him. Now where are we headed?
Superplex.
It looks like Chris Adams is going for a superplex off the second rope. Does he have the strength? No. Blanchard, in a very smart move, wrapped his foot around the turnbuckle, and that stopped any momentum that Chris Adams may have had. But as you can see, Blanchard is in just about as bad a shape.
Well, I'm telling you, that was a move that was made out of desperation. He's very fortunate that he was able to block that superplex. But nevertheless, he's still, you know, worn down. Adams with the 1-2 almost.
The crowd really going back and forth in this match. Sometimes you'll hear them cheering for Chris, and then sometimes they turn around and cheer for Tully Blanchard.
Most time they cheer for me.
Well, you're seeing a really good wrestling match. And there you have Blanchard just pulling Adams over him through the middle ropes and out.
Now, Tully was smart right here. I know it's hard for him to, you know, gather his senses, is to get away, let the referee do the count, because Adams, he looks like he's worn out. He could get counted out here. That's it, Tully. Get away, let the referee start counting it.
Well, he's not listening to you, Michael. He's going out after him.
Oh, well, there's a first.
Takes him and just rams the small of his back into the edge of that ring apron.
Now pull him in.
Blanchard going back in the ring, and that's what he's doing. He's pulling Chris Adams back in.
Now that's a legal blow. It's on the outside. It's between the 5 count. That's the side of the fist.
Well, so far we've been lucky that we haven't seen their tempers just take over and take them off on this match. Both men exhausted. You can tell that this match has taken its toll on both of these competitors. But, Michael, I don't know about you, but it just tickles me to see a good, honest, hard-fought wrestling match going on here in the NWA in the Sportatorium.
Well, I'm glad that you're tickled, Joe, but what tickles me, it's amazing that it was that I caused these two guys to have a victory that caused this fallout that created this match.
Well, that's true. It was all your fault.
No, it wasn't my fault. It was that stupid, dumb Pollock, Scott Putsky. I'm sorry I said I never mention his name again because he's gone. Who cares? I'll never wrestle
Michael,
him again.
he's not gone.
Well, he's gone from my book of life.
All right, from outside the ring, over the top rope. He's got him rolled up. 1, 2.
That was close. That could have gone either way.
A lot of the fans here in the Sportatorium think that that could have been a 3 count.
And Blanchard back on top. We remember last week the resiliency he used in defeating Perry Jackson, Action Jackson. He stayed with that pinning combination, stayed on him, and it proved very successful for him. And now here come the fist.
All right, Chris Adams now with an elbow to the side of the head.
I tell you right now, if I was one of them, I might want to get an excruciating wrestling hold. One, to catch my breath. Also, to cause the other guys some more pain. They are both fatigued. They both need a rest period, if that was at all possible. Unfortunately, in pro wrestling, and especially the NWA, no posible. I know Spanish.
Yeah, no timeouts.
Yeah, I know Loretta, and Chiquita.
Body slam by Chris Adams.
Now Adams going to the top. You got to question this. He made a complete body slam. Blanchard is laid prone on the mat. Adams to the top. Risky maneuver.
And just as you said it, Michael, Blanchard brought up his knees and Adams came down right across those 2 knees, literally just knocking the air out of Chris Adams.
Well, I'll be the friend. Blanchard, 2, no. I'm going to tell you, it's easy here to be an armchair quarterback and second guess what's going on. It's a lot harder when you're in there doing it.
Well, as we just heard, there are 2 minutes left in this match.
And I bet it's going to feel like 2 hours to them, Joe.
Blanchard now pulling Adams up. Adams blocks it.
What Blanchard has to be careful here, Joe, is Adams hitting him with that super kick.
It's almost a slugfest in the ring right now. And Adams just stomping on Tully Blanchard and now standing up on the throat. This is what I didn't want to see from either one of these 2 men. The referee counting.
Adams needs to get him back in the ring, try to set him up for the super kick. We've got to have, what, only a minute and a half left. You need to capitalize. Go for the victory. You get more money that way.
We're down to 1 minute to go in this match. Tully Blanchard, Chris Adams, both men absolutely whipped after going this long in this match, and now the question is, will one of them be able to pull it out? A kick to the head of Tully Blanchard.
There was a roundhouse kick. Does Adams have enough left to crawl over and capitalize and get the victory?
Both men almost out on their feet.
What a match. Time is winding down. Adams again going.
Tully pulls Chris Adams down off the turnbuckle.
Beautiful maneuver. Blanchard setting up for a slingshot.
We're down to next to nothing, no time. We're running close. 1, 2, and he kicks him off. We have got to be down to literally seconds. There's a clothesline.
What great wrestling and counter
Adams is
wrestling.
going up. Adams is going up to the top rope. And there he comes.
Whoa.
The bell rang and the time ran out.
It's hard to say if he would have got the 3 count.
Time has run out. Folks, it's a time limit draw between these two men. A great match, and I'm sure the referee now will hold up both hands. We're going to take a break. What a great match. We'll have more to talk about here on NWA Championship Wrestling. Continuing on today's NWA Championship Wrestling, Jeff Gretler against Chico Cavallo. Chico in the ring, and what a beautiful move. One count already. Joining me here at Mike's side once again this week, Jimmy Crockett Jr., promoter of the NWA, and we want to talk a little bit about that big week of action coming up between Christmas and New Year's, and talk about how your organization can raise funds by the help of the NWA. And Jimmy, I know that we're looking forward to the 30th down in Corsicana, the Special Olympics down there. I understand you've been talking to Larry about the things that are going to be going on down there.
Yeah, the manager over at the Walmart, Paul, is going to have several of the wrestlers over there in the afternoon. You can stop by and purchase some pictures from Junkyard Dog and a few of the other guys, and the money goes to charity. And it's Corsicana.
Corsicana.
I realize that you're from Atlanta.
Yeah,
and,
I'm just learning these towns. Jimmy, I know that the NWA has always been very big in fundraising, and that you'd like to extend an invitation to some people out there. Wait a minute. Jimmy, if you hold on just 1 second, Rod Price is down here at the ring, and I have no idea why Rod Price would be down at ringside in a match between Chico Cavallo and Jeff Gretner.
DC of High Voltage has challenged Rod to a tag match, and I'm
Maybe
sure
he's looking for a partner.
I don't know whether it's Jeff or Chico, but I tell you what, Chico is a fine wrestler. I'd sort of hate to see him team up with the likes of Rod Price, but he would certainly make a great partner for Rod.
Well, obviously Price is down here looking at one of these two men, or maybe either one, as a possible partner in that match. An unusual form of a chin lock there, as he's got it almost, well, it's instead of a reverse chin lock, it's almost just a regular forward chin lock, and Chico now turns him around, brings him over. As you said, he's a great wrestler.
Well, Jeff Gretler is a young man who has really been climbing the ladder of wrestling recently, and all he needs is that little polish that Rod Price could bring and take him to the next level. So whether it's Chico or Jeff, I don't know, but he's going to have to get a partner soon, because I don't think AC and DC are going to wait.
No, I know that they've been making quite a challenge ever since last week when we saw Rod Price in that victory over DC. And there you see Price looking on. Jimmy, coming up the week between Christmas and New Year's, Sulphur Springs on the 26th, Sulphur Springs. Pronounce that one for me.
Terrell?
Terrell, Texas. I think I pronounced it wrong last week on the 27th. Gainesville on the 28th, and Cleburne on the 29th. And, of course, as we said, Corsicana on the 30th. It ought to be a great week, including the Sportatorium here in Dallas for that week.
Yeah, the Sportatorium will not run on Saturday, December the 24th, Christmas Eve, but we will have a spectacular on Christmas evening.
Okay. So Christmas Day night there will be wrestling at the Sportatorium.
But I came down not to talk about the Christmas week, but if you have a local charity that we can help you promote to raise money for, like the Special Olympics, please give us a call at the NWA hotline. And, of course, we can't possibly answer every request, but we're going to certainly do all that we can.
All right. Jimmy Crockett Jr., promoter of the NWA. And in the ring, Chico Cavella having a good match against Jeff Gretler, and Rod Price still looking. Now, where are we going with this? He's got him up. A power bomb takes him down and rolls over 1, 2, and there's your 3 count. A great combination by Chico. And I don't know what this means, but Rod Price looks very pleased at ringside.
Very pleased, nodding his head.
All right, we've got some words from Skandor Akbar and Kevin Von Erich standing by.
You know, if you get down to dastardly deeds, I'm the greatest. Kevin.
Let me say this. I wasn't expecting that. Let me say this. Anytime I'm in Dallas, I'm in my backyard, and I'll tell you folks what you can expect 110% from me. Now, I'll tell you, I was waiting a long time to come back to this Sportatorium, and I was waiting for the caliber of champions to fill this building like they are now. Now the competition is here, the talent is here, and I'm here. I'm here for the kind of wrestling we were brought up on. A fight. Give me all you got. That's what they got here, and that's why I'm here.
Well, they make unusual allies, but there's no question that General Skandor Akbar and Kevin Von Erich are going to make a very potent combination of the National Wrestling Alliance.
Joe Pedicino at ringside, and in the ring we have the Gangster of Love, Chaz, as he takes on Dapper Dan. This ought to be an exciting match just like that. 2 count. Both of these men are high flyers. Both of these men are what you would call tacticians in the ring. Dapper Dan likes to take the shortcuts. Chaz stays away from them as long as he can, but I will tell you, I've seen this man get riled up. Dapper Dan doesn't want to do that. Beautiful move there, almost a flying clothesline. Chaz now coming back up to his feet. Dan picks him up, body slam right down on that back, and then follows it up with an elbow to the chest. Dan picks him up, gouges the eye. That's the kind of shortcut I'm talking about. Great night planned for tonight at the Sportatorium. Of course, all your favorite NWA stars are going to be there. Plus, tonight, get this. Tonight is old-timer Texas shootout night. You'll get a chance to come and meet some of the Hall of Fame wrestlers from the world of professional wrestling. There are going to be a busload of old-time favorite wrestlers there at the Sportatorium tonight. You can get autographs and pictures. It's going to be a great night. It's part of the old-timer Texas shootout, and it's at the Sportatorium tonight. A big part of the show tonight at the Sportatorium. You don't want to miss it. You're going to see a lot of great action at the Sportatorium. Action like you're seeing. Oh, my goodness. Draped his neck across the rope and then hung him literally a snap across that top rope. Dapper Dan back now into the ring, and Chaz fighting back. I think Chaz may have figured out that he's going to have to fight fire with fire in this case. Chaz taking a couple of boots to the midsection from Dapper Dan. There's one to the face. The referee, James Beard, getting on and warning Dapper Dan, but as you can tell, Dan not listening as he goes up and just stands on the throat with both feet. Chaz has the breath taken out of him, both with that body slam and now with those chokes. Imagine having the full weight of another human being standing on your throat. That's what Chaz has just been through. And now a roll up, 1, 2. Dapper Dan takes Chaz, throws him into the ropes. Off he comes, and there's an elbow. Dan flying through the air, lands an elbow into the chest of Chaz. Dapper Dan now wearing down Chaz, and you can see where he's headed. Some comments. I'm told that Alex Porto has some comments about Chaz. All right, they're telling me in the back. Let's go to these comments from Alex Porto.
You know, Chad, I beat you up all over the state of Texas, punk. Well, you got me last time, and you're running around here with a hood on your head. Well, I'm going to tell you something, punk. Come next week, you're going to really need a mask around that head, because I'm going to whoop you, and it ain't going to be nothing pretty, boy.
Well, some comments from the Beach Bully about Chaz. I'm sure that Chaz has other things on his mind right now. He's got this match, for one thing, I'm sure, as Dapper Dan has probably surprised Chaz. Oh, my goodness, into that turnbuckle, and a suplex from Chaz. 1, 2, and a 3 count. Chaz with a quick move, able to overcome. Dapper Dan had the upper hand most of the match, but it just goes to show you it only takes 3 seconds. There's your winner, Chaz, the Gangster of Love. We'll be back. We've got more action coming up. We've got some words from Valentine, Murdoch, and Black Bart.
I'm joined by Dirty Dick Murdoch, Black Bart, and the North American Heavyweight Champion, Greg Valentine. Greg Valentine, as we saw a few moments ago, General Skandar Akbar looks like he'll go to any lengths to extract his revenge.
First of all, address me as the champ. Just remember that I am the North American champion, and also address me as the master of the figure 4 leg lock. I am the only active professional wrestler today that uses the figure 4 leg lock. And Kevin Von Erich found that out last week, and he better get used to laying flat on his back.
Well, Black Bart, you're certainly familiar with General Skandar Akbar and what he's capable of.
You know, General, you made the biggest dadgum mistake of your stinking life. Look around me. Greg the Hammer Valentine, Dirty Dick Murdoch. You line them up, Mr. Crockett, and I'll guarantee you we'll knock them down. Ain't that right, Dickie?
You know, I have never been so sick in my life as I heard Kevin Von Erich get up here and say, when I'm at the Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas, I'm in my backyard. What a filthy cesspool place to be in Dallas, Texas. You understand? Dallas, Texas is a filthy, trash-filled place. Now, when you step up in the Panhandle of Texas and the Amarillo, that is when you come to God's country, to the great state of Texas. Now, Von Erich, you will never be champion because you can't beat us.
A very confident trio, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Black Bart, and Dirty Dick Murdoch.
The action continues today on NWA Championship Wrestling. Hope you're having a great Saturday morning. In the ring, Action Jackson against the Wolfman. And you know, we talked a lot about Action Jackson last week. Always giving 100%, always in there, giving his best. A lot of people tell me, and I agree, that this man is a role model that the kids out there can take a look up to and see the work ethic of America. Action Jackson is the kind of man that you kids can look at and see what it's going to take to be a success. He's been around wrestling for quite a while. He's been climbing the ladder and climbing the ladder, and he always is in there learning. And he's not afraid to take on a challenge, and that's one of the things that's made him into the wrestler he is today. Now, he's facing a very unique man in this man, the Wolfman. He contacted the NWA, passed all of the physicals, and said he wanted to wrestle, so the promoter has put him in a match against Action Jackson. He had better be on his toes if he's going to be able to do anything against Action. Action Jackson just has him back into the turnbuckle now. So far, it's been all offense from Action. There's the butt, and that's probably going to be good night, Irene. There you have it, Action Jackson. Let's take a quick look at the replay. Into the ropes, butt. 1, 2, 3, and the winner of the match is Action Jackson. We're going to take you now to Bonnie Blackstone. She is standing by with Tony Norris and Chaz.
NWA Championship Wrestling tonight, the Sportatorium, the Hard Riders against these guys, Chaz, the Gangster of Love, and Tony Norris. What are you going to do?
Let me tell you something, Hard Riders. We're not your biker women that'll just lay down for you. We're going to give you a fight. Hard Riders, you meet us in the square circle tonight, you better watch each other's backs, because we're going to be all over you. The flying and the muscle, baby, just watch out.
You know, I got a problem when there's two boys walking around looking like the village people calling themselves the Hard Riders. Well, boys, it's too late to check back into the YMCA. Because you decided contracts, and tonight is the night. Don't run, don't hide, get on your Harleys and motor on down to the ring, punks, because we're here to stay.
You get on your Harleys, just like Tony said. You get on your Harleys. Baby, we got vests. We'll run your Harleys over. We're going to run you over. Get you down in the mat. 1, 2, 3. What do you think about that?
Great action tonight. There's still time for you to get a ticket.
Six-man tag team action. The Hard Riders, Frank and Rick, and their partner, Michael P.S. Hayes, taking on the Young Bloods, Chris and Mark, and their partner, the Junkyard Dog. I've been joined here by Chris Adams. Chris, what a great match earlier in the night with Tully Blanchard. I was a little bit afraid it was going to get out of hands, but the truth is you two guys pushed the envelope, but it was a great wrestling match.
You know what? I feel really, really good, Joe. I mean, I'm tired now. I'm even puffing and panting as we speak. But you know, Tully Blanchard's a fantastic wrestler. I really thought that he was going to go overboard, but he didn't. He
stayed within the rules.
He stayed within the rules. He stretched the rules to the limit. We nearly sparked off, or I'd say at least 20 times, but we didn't. We stayed within the rules, especially he stayed within the rules, and I feel secure and good about that man right now.
All right, let's talk about the match in the ring. Six-man tag action. The Young Bloods, you are very familiar with, as well as the Junkyard Dog. These men, the Hard Riders, have only been in the NWA now for about a month, but with Michael Hayes at their side as their creative consultant, they've really made a mark on the NWA in the tag team division already.
Well, they have, you know, but, you know, earlier on in the program, Michael Hayes was talking about shortcuts. And if there's any man that takes shortcuts, I thought it would be Tully Blanchard, but it's not. You know, Michael Hayes takes shortcuts. He's teaching the Hard Riders to take shortcuts. And, you know, if you want to take a shortcut in professional wrestling, then in the end, you're going to come unstuck. And Michael Hayes, your day is coming, believe you me.
Well, as you can see, Youngblood now with almost a 3 count. I mean, within a hair's breadth of a 3 count on that. Tags his brother.
You know, you got to see the difference here. The Youngbloods, great talent, great teamwork, not like the undercutting experience, you know, of Michael Hayes. He's been in the business. He's older than water, you know. He's been in the business before anybody else started professional wrestling. But the thing is, he is good. He does know what he's doing. He does take shortcuts to win. And I guess that that's his way of, you know.
As you can see, he's an expert at it. Michael Hayes keeping the referee tied up while the Hard Riders double teaming on Chris Youngblood.
Well, he's very manipulative,
Chris trying
Michael
to fight
Hayes.
out, and he does. Fights out.
See, Hayes panics. When he can't manipulate the whole thing, Hayes panics, and that's the way he is. And for a while there, I did think that Tully Blanchard was going to be just like Michael Hayes. But I have to say, Joe, he is not. He is all the man and more than I expected him to be. Tully Blanchard, you're okay with me.
All right, Michael Hayes throws him in. Now it comes over, and Chris Youngblood is down, and he got out of the way, and there's a chop. Hayes not real happy with the way that turned out.
The Youngbloods, you know, have been in the business a long time. They are second-generation wrestlers. Their father was a great wrestler himself, and they have some fantastic tag team moves. I really enjoy watching these guys.
All right, this Michael Hayes thinks he's outsmarted Chris Youngblood. Turns around right into a chop. Oh, and there is Youngblood doing that Fantasia walk that P.S. Hayes does so well, and I don't think that Michael liked that too much.
No, he's a coward, you know, like the color of his hair suits him right down to the ground, you know, yellow, and that's Michael Hayes. He starts from the hair all the way down to the streak in his back.
Chris, I know you've got to leave. I know you can't stick around, but I want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here and talking to us about your match with Tully and about the match we've got going on in the ring.
Well, thank you, Joe, and thanks for having me. All the best to the Youngbloods and JYD.
All right, that's Chris Adams. He's going to go to the back. I understand that there's some consultation rather needed in the back. The next big match coming up, Sam Houston and Buddy Landell. Adams very knowledgeable of Buddy Landell, so I'm sure he's going to go back there and talk to Sam Houston about it. In the meantime, Hard Rider Frank in the ring, and he is wearing down Mark Youngblood, and now he's going to take him and throw him into the boot of his partner Rick. One thing that Michael Hayes has taught this team, keep your opponent in your corner, and obviously he has taught them well, because that's exactly what they're doing. Hard Rider Rick stomping on Mark Youngblood. Now they're right back in the corner, and once again everybody taking their turn on Mark Youngblood. Michael Hayes with a chop. And now fist after fist after fist on Mark Youngblood by Michael Hayes. The referee counts him off, and now there you see him strutting his stuff, and there's the walk. Want to make fun of Michael Hayes? You'll probably end up paying for it. That was the message that he just sent to everybody. Right back into the corner, and again triple teaming coming on Mark Youngblood by the Hard Riders and Michael Hayes. Brings him over, and now pulling back on that chin. The referee asking Mark Youngblood if he wants to give up. He says no. Junkyard Dog, as you can see, trying to motivate Mark Youngblood, trying to get Mark Youngblood back over to the corner so that there can be a tag. There you see Chris Youngblood looking on. Mark now trying to come back. 3 straight elbows, 4 elbows into the ropes and off with a shoulder block. Youngblood needs to make a tag. He needs to get over and make a tag. Youngblood trying to get over for the tag, but not able to get there. Let me tell you something, folks. You can see a difference in this team since Michael Hayes took over as their creative consultant. The roughhouse tactics are there, but so is the tag team wrestling. That's unfortunate for a lot of the tag teams here in the NWA. Michael Hayes with that look on his face. Folks, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for having us in your home on this Saturday morning. We appreciate the fact that you tuned in to see great NWA wrestling. And if you folks in Dallas who are watching us on KDFI, make your plans tonight to be at the Sportatorium. You will see tremendous action like you are seeing right here in the ring coming up tonight, plus the advantage of that old-timers night that we talked about. Youngblood comes off with an elbow, this time with a foot. The Hard Rider is down. Youngblood gets over to make the tag, and in comes the Junkyard Dog. The referee is saying they didn't make the tag. He didn't see it. And look at this. They are just pounding on Youngblood. Folks, this is why the wrestlers will tell you that sometimes in a 6-man tag, maybe there ought to be 2 referees. Now all 6 men are in the ring. Michael Hayes headbutted by the Junkyard Dog. Hard Rider Frank headbutted by the Junkyard Dog. Junkyard going after Michael Hayes again. Junkyard Dog just puts the head of Michael Hayes and Frank together. And now Mark Youngblood has rejoined. All 6 men now involved in this fracas. Junkyard Dog in the ring. Michael Hayes goes out of the ring. Junkyard comes off. Clothesline on Frank. Michael Hayes has got a chain. He's got that chain in his hand. Junkyard's got him down. Hayes comes in and gloms him from behind. Wait a minute. The referee is going to count. 1, 2, and 3. Oh. A travesty, an absolute travesty. An absolute travesty as the junkyard dog goes down because of that change from Michael Hayes. But the Hard Riders and Hayes win the match. They are your winners, and we'll be back.
True greatness right here in front of you, Joe Pedicino.
You know, speaking of greatness, I promise you, we'd rather see your greatness in the ring than hear about it, buddy.
Well, you know, Joe, I sense a little snide remark in your tone. You're just jealous that Michael Hayes is a better announcer than you are.
That may be so, but how about we see that greatness in the ring, buddy?
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first in this contest from Bear Creek, Texas, at a weight of 227 pounds, Sam Houston. And his opponent weighs in at 230 pounds and hails from Jacksonville, Florida. He is the Nature Boy, Buddy Landell.
Well, as usual, Buddy Landell has to get his words in first as he comes over here to the ringside and wants to tell us how great he is. He's going to get a chance to show us right now in the ring as he takes on Sam Houston. This ought to be a great match, a main event match here on NWA Championship Wrestling. It's been a while since our fans back in Atlanta watching on WTLK TV 14 have seen Sam Houston in the ring. It's going to be interesting to see how Houston puts up with the antics of one Buddy Landell. Into the corner, Landell tries to fist, but Houston blocks it, uses one of his own. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been told tonight at the Sportatorium, Rod Price and Chico Cavallo will team up to take on High Voltage. So evidently, Rod Price did convince Chico Cavallo to be his partner, and tonight at the Sportatorium, they will take on High Voltage. That ought to be an interesting match. High Voltage has, of course, had that challenge out to Price to take the match. And now I'm told the match will take place tonight at the Sportatorium. Sam Houston and Buddy Landell lock up, and they're in the corner now. The referee will break this up. Landell slaps. Now, that was done to aggravate. You know that didn't hurt. It was done to aggravate, and as you can see, it was successful. Houston now doubling up his fist, getting ready for Landell. He knows the kind of challenge that he's in for here against Buddy Landell. And there's another slap. Landell knows that that's not going to hurt Sam Houston. But you can see what it's doing. It's actually taking Houston out of this match mentally. Houston needs to get back into the match and realize that Landell is doing these tactics strictly just to get him high and get him high on energy and try to take him out of this match. If you can get your opponent thinking out of anger, well, sometimes this is what you have to put up with. Buddy Landell right on his face, down on the mat. Houston goes in for a pin. Now, Landell knows better than this. Trying to call a timeout. He knows there's no such thing as a timeout. The referee holding Sam Houston back, giving Landell the opportunity to get into the ring. Landell backing up, Sam Houston stalking Landell. Buddy Landell with a knee to the midsection of Houston, and now a fist right to the side of the face. The ref right in front of the referee. Obviously, Landell doesn't care if the referee sees it. He knows that the referee's going to count. So Houston looks like he's going to fight fire with fire, and that's exactly what he's doing. Referee with a 2 count. Houston telling him to come on and get up. Landell just backs away. You see why they call Landell the psych master. You see why opponents know that you're going to have to put up with not only the wrestling ability of a Buddy Landell, but you're going to have to put up with his antics in the ring too. He is there to disorient his opponents. Beautiful leg sweep by Houston, and now he's got it wrapped around. He's got that leg wrapped around. Almost a spinning toe hold, except he's got the heel instead of the toe. And now what's he going to do? He just keeps twisted. He's got that ankle twisted and the knee. He's saying, I'm going to go around again. And he does. He does it again, goes around again. The pressure on Buddy Landell's knee and ankle has got to be extreme at that point. Houston comes down with a knee into the thigh. Landell going for the hair. The referee sees it. Buddy Landell's got to be careful. He's putting those shoulders down on the mat, and the referee has no hesitation about counting. It's going to be great to see Sam Houston back again in the Sportatorium here in the NWA. Second-generation wrestler. A very big fan favorite of the fans here in the past in the Sportatorium. Landell now trying to pull Houston off of this. He's got the leg just tied up every which way. Still putting pressure, and Landell using the eyes. Landell gouging the eyes of Sam Houston to get out of that hold. Landell now behind Houston. Houston can't see. So Landell turns him around and puts a foot right into the midsection. Buddy Landell with a fist to the face. The referee warning Landell, but as you can see, Landell just doesn't pay that much attention to the referee. He pays about as much attention to the referee as Newt Gingrich pays to Bill Clinton. Buddy Landell now fist and feet into Sam Houston. Throws him into the ropes. Where's he going? Comes off into the small of the back. Landell now punishing the back of Sam Houston. Obviously, this is what he has decided to go for in this match. A fist to the face. A return by Houston. There's another one. There's another one. There's a fourth one. Houston doesn't look like he's going to put up with a lot more of this. Fist to the face again, and now throws him into the corner, goes in after him. He's met with an elbow. Throws him into the ropes, off he comes, tries to bring him over, but instead it's reversed. Sam Houston down, can he bring him over? He's got him, 1, 2, 3, he got a 3 count. He got a 3 count on Buddy Landell right in the middle of the ring. Sam Houston, let's go back, wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, Buddy Landell sucker punches Houston. Landell not happy with the fact that he just got beat, DDTs Houston. Takes Houston and DDTs him. Obviously, he feels like he's got to make Houston pay for beating Buddy Landell. He beat Landell right in the ring. And now what's he doing? Oh, gosh. Takes his head and puts it right into that corner turnbuckle, that corner metal post. He has taken and put him right into the corner post, and it looks like he's opened him up. It looks like he has opened up the forehead of Sam Houston. I don't believe this. Buddy Landell lost the match and now has just absolutely, he's brought him over to our table. Buddy Landell, we got to get out of here. We have got to get out of here. Buddy Landell has made Sam Houston pay, but the winner of the match was Sam Houston.
And the master of the figure 4 leg lock and the reigning North American heavyweight champion, accompanied by Black Bart and Dirty Dick Murdoch and Greg the Hammer Valentine. The next time you face Kevin Von Erich, it will be for the North American heavyweight championship. Your thoughts on that match?
Anybody that I face, I will put up the North American title, the NWA North American title. It don't matter who, if it's Kevin Von Erich or Junkyard Dog. And you know something, the alliance right here that I have, the allegiance I have with Dirty Dick Murdoch and Black Bart is to enforce the rules around here in the National Wrestling Alliance and make sure that my opponents know the rules and make sure my opponents are worthy of stepping into the ring with a North American heavyweight champion.
Black Bart, General Skandar Akbar has seconded you in championship matches before.
General Skandar Akbar, he's about this deep in too much of you-know-what. You're looking at Greg the Hammer Valentine, Dirty Dick Murdoch, and Black Bart. Jimmy Crockett, the NWA, you line them up, and I'll guarantee come to you, me and Dickie and Greg, we'll knock them down, and ain't a dead-gum thing you can do about it.
You know, as I look around right here, I can see that Kevin Von Erich's family's all here. I mean, look at them. They all look like Von Erichs. They're all inbreds. They're all mongoloids. They're all idiots. They all remind me of the Von Erichs, every stinking one of them. Now, let me tell you something, Kevin. You stepped into a man's world now. You see, you've been laid out for a while, and then all of a sudden you think you're going to come back and step into the real world. Get real, bub. Get live. You see, Von Erich? The Panhandle of Texas rules. You know that. I know it. I don't say I'm from Dallas. This says, boy, look at that. Look at that. You talk about a sickening individual. I'd have my kid in a doggone, I don't know what, but it wouldn't be in a cowboy uniform.
For Joe Pedicino and Bonnie Blackstone, I'm Mark Nolte. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week. So long, everybody.
Welcome back to NWA Championship Wrestling. Joe Pedicino at ringside with Michael Hayes. In the ring, Rod Price taking on Devin Michaels, DC of High Voltage. And of course, Michaels is usually a tag team wrestler and is for the past several years been involved in the tag team situation around the United States. Today, wrestling in a single match against Rod Price, and Price immediately with a power slam. 1, 2, a little bit too early, although that was a good move, Michael.
Good maneuver there by Price. Went for the pin early. I don't think he had Devin Michaels in a pinning predicament or hurt, enough to capitalize on the power slam. But you're very astute, believe it or not, in picking out Devin Michaels, not used to single competition. Rod Price, been a champion in both, and the veteran will probably tell the story here. And boy, did Murdoch and them seem fired up about Von Erich, huh?
Yeah, they did. I tell you something, Kevin Von Erich and I think Akbar have a lot to worry about with.
I hate him too. Let's just go ahead. Go on record.
I don't hate them.
Okay, you dislike him.
No, I don't. I like them. What I'm saying is that I think they have a very hard time ahead of them here in the NWA because of people like Valentine, Black Bart, Dick Murdoch, Michael Hayes.
Hey,
probably.
Can you just imagine what problem Kevin Von Erich if he gets in my way? If he gets in my way. Well, I mean, he's got trouble enough. He won't even get out of this. He's dug himself a hole he can't get out of. And Chris Adams ain't going to help him. Chris Adams, a Texas wannabe.
Rod Price with a chin lock, a rear chin lock on Devin Michaels.
Oh, beautiful. You see how he grinded that headlock?
Yeah.
Putting that upper body weight down on Michaels makes it hard for him to get to a vertical base.
Michaels seems a little bit disoriented. And I guess this comes from being in a hole like this, right?
Exactly. There's Joe's two brothers. I'm glad they made the trip. Nice of you. You know, some people get to be a star like yourself and they don't remember their family.
All about their family, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that you don't. See, I'm into family.
I know your grandma called me the other day and said to tell you if I saw you, to tell you to call her.
Oh, okay. Collect. Nothing pretty about this, just good scientific wrestling.
Absolutely. He is just wearing him down, literally. He's got him wrapped in that rear chin lock. And just imagine, look at that arm. Imagine the pressure that arm is putting on the head and the neck of Devin Michaels.
Well, Devin Michaels is finding out right now that that's not the way a head's supposed to be bent.
No, he's got it twisted. And then also, Michael, you know this, the way he's putting that his fist into the ear really can disorient somebody, having that pressure just pushed against your foot, the temple like that.
Exactly. Even if he was to let go of Devin Michaels, which he won't right now, it would take Michaels 30 seconds to recuperate to do an offensive maneuver, see?
Just like that, as you were saying. Michaels got loose, but then he was a little bit disoriented. At that point, not able to make an offensive move, ran right into the knee of Rod Price, reverses it off, takes him, and throws him over.
You have to watch out, though. Michaels is explosive.
There's a clothesline.
Don't let
Michaels
him recuperate.
over there now in the corner, goes down and covers him. 1, 2.
Whoa, that was close.
Price got his shoulder up just before the 3 count.
It looks like the tide is switched here. Michaels recuperating, back on fire.
There's a drop kick. And Michaels now, what's he doing?
He's still feeling the effects of that reverse chin lock. You see, he's dizzy.
Goes for another drop kick. Price is down after those 2 drop kicks. Michaels now goes and tries to roll him over, hooks a leg. 1 count as Price is able to get out of it.
Well, you know, I think Devin Michaels must have seen the match earlier where Tully Blanchard stayed persistent and went after the pin after he first kicked out. Speaking of Action Jackson, Michaels tried it with Price, didn't work.
Comes off, and there's that flying shoulder block. And Devin Michaels now is really in trouble.
That's the veteran maneuver. Michaels went for the...
Look at this now. Michaels looks like he's trying to tag. This is where, having been in tag team competition for so long, he looked over to try to tag, forgot his partner wasn't there. He's locked in that half crab and submits.
That's it, baby.
All right, there's your winner, Rod Price, in this match here on today's NWA.
Well, Joe, I got to go. It's been fun. It's been real, but it ain't been real fun.
Now on NWA Championship Wrestling, 2 men returning to the Sportatorium after long absences. On one team, Kevin Von Erich and his partner Sam Houston. They're taking on Dapper Dan Davis and Jeff Gretler. In the ring right now, it is Gretler, and of course, you recognize Kevin Von Erich. Now, earlier in the show, we saw what I consider to be literally a dastardly deed, a setup by Dick Murdoch, Valentine, and Black Bart as they tried to injure Kevin Von Erich. And as you can see, he is very tender on that knee. He was in that figure 4 leg lock for a while. The doctors in the back suggested that maybe he should not wrestle in this match, but Kevin Von Erich demanded to come out and be in the match. He says he can take care of himself, and he's usually correct. Sam Houston, the legal man in the ring now, and he's arm dragging one after another, and now he's got Gretler down on the ring. An arm bar on Jeff Gretler. Great action, and there you see Skandor Akbar. Can you believe Akbar in the corner of Kevin Von Erich? It is absolutely amazing. By the way, you heard us talking earlier about being in Corsicana on the 30th. We're going to be helping the Special Olympics there to raise funds. We want to say hello to Larry, who's going to be helping us out a lot there at the Walmart there in Corsicana that afternoon. Paul at the Walmart is putting together an autograph party, so listen for more details on that. You'll see great action like you're seeing here in this tag match. Sam Houston now telling Dapper Dan, if you want to do it that way, I can do it too. Or if you want to wrestle, I can wrestle. We talked about that great week of action coming up between Christmas and New Year's. The 26th in Sulphur Springs, the 27th in Terrell, Gainesville on the 28th, Claiborne on the 29th, and of course, as we said, Corsicana on the 30th. Lots of great action opportunities for you to come out and see your favorite NWA wrestlers. You see them right here on TV every Saturday morning. Here's your opportunity that week to come out and see it live and in person. And of course, action at the Sportatorium every Saturday night. There's a man that has seen so many history-making days here in the world-famous Sportatorium, Kevin Von Erich. And it is great to have him back. Amazing to see him with Akbar, though, managing him. But he says he can trust Akbar. He said Akbar's always done what he said, even if you didn't like it. And he swears that he and Akbar have talked it out and that he wants Valentine bad enough that he'll take Akbar in his corner to help him. Of course, a lot of things going on between the families in the past, as Johnny Valentine has claimed some victories over Fritz Von Erich. Fritz Von Erich, of course, many victories over Johnny Valentine also. But now this feud here in Texas is taken up again. as Kevin Von Erich and Greg Valentine are going at it. Valentine now with that a different form of a rear chin lock, takes it back to the corner, makes the tag with Sam Houston. Houston comes into the ring, goes immediately after Dapper Dan. Houston now puts Dan down on the mat and drops a knee right on the bridge of the nose of Dapper Dan. Sam Houston with a standing arm bar. Gretler trying to make the tag. You couldn't see it on TV, but he was standing on the second rope trying to make the tag, which of course is not legal. The referee, John Keaton, would not allow that. Gretler trying to sneak in the ring. You're not going to do that on the officials here. I tell you what, the NWA, as always, has some of the finest officials in all of wrestling. The wrestlers here just don't get away with as much. There you see Dapper Dan brought over and down on that arm. Houston now works on the arm. Houston has a height advantage on Dapper Dan. That helps him in a move like this. Of course, it doesn't help when your opponent puts 3 fists now right in your face. Make it 4. Houston a little upset, says, wait a minute, I can do that. Brings him over. Goes right back to the arm and once again shows you the wrestling technique we're talking about. Houston, of course, second-generation wrestler. His family, of course, in wrestling, big stars in the NWA. And it's great to see Samuel Houston back here in Dallas, Texas, and the NWA. Dapper Dan down. Houston using the knee to get some leverage. And Dan trying to use the hair to get some leverage. The referee won't go for that either. In the background, you can see Gretler sneaking in. Kevin Von Erich saw it too and chased him back out. Brought it to the referee's attention. In the meantime, Dapper Dan having a hard time trying to figure out an escape from this arm bar. Dan brings Houston over, but Houston holds on. Dan close enough now, he might be able to make a tag. Referee now trying to give a hard time right back to Gretler. Gretler trying to pull a scam on the referee. And Dan now with a fist back to the face again, and Houston just gives it back. You'd think that Dan would learn by now. Houston can reverse and give back anything. All right, here's the tag. What are they going to do? They throw him right in, and there it is. He's got the claw hold. The famous Von Erich claw. 1, 2, 3, it is over. And the Von Erich claw has returned to the NWA. There are your winners. Let's go back and take a quick look. As you can see, Houston throws him in. Von Erich turns him around, and then there it is. Clamps on the claw. Down goes Davis, and it's 1, 2, 3. And the Von Erich claw is successful in its return to the NWA. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we've got some closing words from Skandor Akbar, Kevin, and Sam Houston.
Skandor Akbar, you have very quickly signed a match for tonight with gentleman Chris Adams and Kevin Von Erich to go up against Black Bart and Dick Murdoch. Why did you sign the match so quickly?
Well, first of all, Bart and Murdoch, I know how to deal with you. Remember, I taught you everything you know. And secondly, nobody roughs up the general and walks around and talk about it. And in the third position, I've got Kevin Von Erich, the man that has the iron claw, never been broken, and I've got gentleman Chris Adams. Now, I know Adams doesn't like Akbar, maybe Von Erich doesn't like Akbar, but they like money, the universal language.
Kevin Von Erich, the claw looked great, but you seem to still be favoring that left knee. How close to 100% is it?
Well, I'll tell you this, when it comes to Dick Murdoch,
And the tag team match with Chris Adams, let's say it's 100%. I feel like I'm on top of the world right now. There's no place in the world I'd rather be than Dallas, Texas, with my neighbors all looking on.
Chris Adams, how unusual is it going to be for you tonight to have General Skandar Akbar in your corner?
Well, you know, Akbar's done a lot against myself, and he's done a lot against the Von Erichs. So I cannot just say, hey, Akbar's our friend and I trust him. I'm going to keep an eye on you, Akbar, and you know it full well. But apart from that, you know what, Bart, and you know what, Murdoch? I don't like your sneaky tricks. I don't like sneaking down here behind someone's back. And that's why I'm here. So Kevin Von Erich and myself will be taking you on tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Tonight is Kevin Von Erich and gentleman Chris Adams with General Skandar Akbar in the corner. You know Sam Houston's going to be watching to make sure it stays 2-on-2. They'll be taking on Black Bart and Dick Murdoch. For Joe Pedicino and Bonnie Blackstone, I'm Mark Nolte. Thank you very much for joining us. So long, everybody.
For another week of great wrestling action from the NWA. Tony Norris and Chaz team up to take on Greg the Hammer Valentine and Black Bart. You'll see Sam Houston as he takes on Aries. Gentleman Chris Adams will face Big Al Walker. We will see High Voltage as they take on the team of Rod Price and Chico Cavella. And then we will see Kevin Von Erich against Jerry Mees. That and more action coming your way on today's NWA Championship Wrestling. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another great week of action here in the NWA and NWA Championship Wrestling. Thanks for having us into your home on this Saturday morning. Tag team action to start off today's program. The Gangster of Love, Chaz, teaming with the Regulator, Tony Norris. They will be taking on one of the top teams in wrestling in Black Bart and Greg the Hammer Valentine. It is going to be a tremendous match. With me at ringside today, we have a young man by the name of Brandon Baxter. And Brandon, I know that you call yourself a manager extraordinaire of wrestlers. You're a young man in the wrestling business, but you said you wanted to come down today and you wanted to be here at the Sportatorium, and you specifically wanted to be here for this match.
You know something, Joe Pedicino, I knew that the best competition in professional wrestling is right here in the NWA. I'm here. My father's giving me money. I'm going to buy some of the best wrestling talent. And I'm telling you right now, Joe Pedicino, I will rule the NWA.
Well, you know, there have been a lot of people that have said that over the years, Brandon. And we'll just have to see. In the match right now, Tony the Regulator Norris and Black Bart. And folks, you talk about the immovable object and the irresistible force. That's what we've got in the ring right now. Norris waiting to ties up with Black Bart, and you're looking at some very impressive men here, Brandon.
The physique on Tony Norris is impressive, but you know, there's always a weakness to someone. And I'm sure Tony Norris has a weakness, and I will find it at some point.
Bart goes over, and Bart's in the wrong place right now. They're playing merry-go-round back and forth with Black Bart. He finally meets with a headbutt from Tony Norris. Bart goes over, makes a tag with Greg the Hammer Valentine. We have some great action coming up on today's program. As you heard, we'll have Sam Houston here against Aries. We're going to have Chris Adams on today's card. We're going to show you some action from the girls, from the ladies' matches. You're going to be seeing the ladies in action coming up in the NWA. We'll show you some of that. And Kevin Von Erich is on today's card, along with High Voltage. It's going to be a great day. Valentine back into the ropes now, comes off, and Norris blocks it. Comes down. Tony Norris just taking over. Greg Valentine says, whoa!
That shows you right there how impressive Tony Norris is to be able to manhandle a veteran like Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Well, Valentine's smart. Valentine's trying to slow things down a little bit because he knows that as that adrenaline flows through Tony Norris, right to the back of the neck. There's a tag to Black Bart.
Don't think that Bart and Valentine don't have a game plan, Joe Pedicino.
Well, I'm sure that they don't go into any match without having some strategy. And right now, the strategy is to try and stop the breathing apparatus of one Tony Norris, and to stay out of the way of those haymakers that Tony Norris is throwing. Norris now back into a headlock. The referee saying he's putting it now. Black Bart diverts the attention of the referee and then puts a fist to the nose of Tony Norris.
That's a move of a very experienced veteran there. Black Bart been in the wrestling wars for a long time, and he's a great one.
Black Bart takes Tony Norris. There's a tag. I don't think Bart was aware of the fact. I don't think he was aware of the fact that the tag had been made. Chaz cuts off with a drop kick. 1, 2, and Valentine breaks it up.
Valentine smart, having Chaz following back into that corner.
Chaz now in the wrong corner as Bart and Greg the Hammer Valentine working over Chaz. There's a thumb to the throat by Black Bart.
I'd like to see Chaz get exactly what he's getting right now. This is great, Joe Pedicino. Beautiful, Greg.
Black Bart in the ring, and now he's taken off that bandana, and he's wrapped it around the throat of Chaz, and he's choking Chaz. The referee sees it and is counting. Black Bart had better be careful. The referee would have no problem in disqualifying Black Bart if he reaches that 5 count. Bart, though the veteran that he is, knows he's got till the count of 5. Ooh, a chop from Greg the Hammer Valentine, and Chaz turns, and there's a return. There's another. Valentine with a foot into the midsection.
Chaz has guts, but I don't think it's going to pay off in this match.
Valentine with Chaz down, goes for the cover. 1, 2, and Chaz kicks out. Elbow to the top of the head. Valentine, of course, with one of the hardest elbows in all of professional wrestling, has won that one, used that one to win many matches. He's going now for a shoulder breaker, and he's got it. Chaz driven into the knee, into the chin of Greg the Hammer Valentine. Valentine makes the tag. In comes Black Bart, and they go right to work on the arm.
They have Chaz exactly where they want him. They're going to try to keep him in the ring and try to beat him. They don't want Tony Norris to get in the ring, Joe.
Well, I don't blame him. I wouldn't want Norris back in. But I'm going to tell you something. Chaz can hold his own against anybody in the NWA. The Gangster of Love may not be the biggest guy around, but he has more heart and more talent, and he can hold his own as he's showing right here against somebody the size of Black Bart. And there you see Tony Norris anxiously wanting to get back in the ring. Greg the Hammer Valentine keeping an eye on what's going on. And Bart brings up Chaz, goes, and they just drop Chaz across the top rope.
Great teamwork there. You know, you said Chaz might not be the biggest, but you know, Joe, I can pretty much guarantee you he is the stupidest.
Well, that's an opinion, and so right now, he's probably got the worst backache in the NWA as Black Bart just came down right across the back. They've got Chaz draped across that second rope.
They're using that strategy I told you about a little bit earlier. Ring tacticians.
We want to remind everybody tonight at the Sportatorium, children get in free with an adult if they bring 2 cans of food. So help the hungry tonight. Come out and see some great wrestling. You're going to see some tremendous action at the Sportatorium coming up tonight. Action like you're seeing in the ring right now as Valentine drops Chaz across, just drops his midsection across Valentine's knee.
Tell the truth, Joe. All of the canned food that those people bring, they're going into your car, aren't they, Joe? Tell the truth.
No, Baxter, they don't. They go to the needy here in the Dallas area.
Yeah,
and you know that. Valentine chops Chaz. Chaz goes down.
Looking at this crowd, we can tell they're all a little bit needy. I don't know if they even have the money to bring canned food.
All right, there's the tag. Tony Norris is in. And now Tony Norris has got Greg Valentine and Black Bart. And when this man is mad, he is not pretty. There's another tag. Chaz comes in. Valentine thrown into the rope. He's got him up. Black Bart comes, and Black Bart knocks him off. Chaz comes off. Baxter, where are you going? Brandon Baxter is not supposed to be leaving the ringside. We've got all 4 men in the ring. Wait a minute, he's got a chain. Baxter just hit Chaz in the back of the head with a chain. What was that all about?
Great wrestling by Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Whoa, wait a minute. You went up there and hit him with a chain.
Ring tactician right there. Chaz is out.
You had him in the back of the neck. You hit him in the back of the head with a chain.
Joe, keep him off close so we can sit here and bask in this glory.
Oh, no. The winners of the match, Valentine and Bart. But it's because of this young man sitting right next to me, Brandon Baxter. He hit him in the back of the head with a chain. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes when Tony Norris finds out what happened.
I'm out of here.
We'll be back with more.
Gentleman Chris Adams, first of all, you continue to have your problems with Black Bart.
Well, you know, Black Bart, he's been around for years. It's you I want, Valentine. Why do you keep running away from me? You have that belt around your waist, and I want it. And take it that Kevin Von Erich wants it too. So once Kevin gets you, then I'm after you. If he doesn't succeed, Chris Adams will. And Black Bart, I have you later tonight. And believe me, I'm going to use you as practice. And Valentine, watch out, because Chris Adams is coming your way.
Why do you think it is that Greg Valentine keeps, well, avoiding some of the top contenders?
Well, you know, that's just the way that a clever champion does it. But in my mind, it's not just a clever champion. I think it's a cowardly champion. So, you know, if you're listening, Greg Valentine, I'm calling you a cowardly champion. So if you really feel good, then come and put your belt in the middle of the mat and let Chris Adams take you on. But you know what? I'm really thinking that maybe it'll be Kevin, because in my mind, Kevin Von Erich will give you a big run for your money.
Gentlemen, Chris Adams' analysis of the title situation. Now let's go back to Joe Pedicino at ringside.
Thank you, Mark Nolte. Action continuing here now today on the NWA Championship Wrestling. We have got in the ring from India, the masked man Aries. He is taking on Texas' own Sam Houston. And Houston taking that 227-pound frame and putting it right in the face of Aries. Obviously, Chris Adams very anxious to get his hands on either Black Bart or Valentine. I know Adams is in the title chase, as is Kevin Von Erich. And I know that Von Erich has been petitioning hard for a title shot against one Greg the Hammer Valentine. Valentine so far, though, a little reluctant to put that title on the line against the likes of a Chris Adams or a Kevin Von Erich. But my friend, the day will come. Aries not happy with the way things have gone so far. I don't know if that's a good idea, Aries. Houston is pretty well known for having a pugilist background. He can use his fist pretty well if he has to. He prefers not to. They tie up now into the corner. The referee will go in, break this up. Neither man wanting to break. Now Aries claiming that Houston was pulling his mask. Referee saying, let's just get back and wrestle. Aries with a good go behind. Taking him down now, and Houston turned that into a headlock and just literally, almost in a slow motion bulldog, took him right down to the mat face first. He's got Aries now down on the mat. Aries works his way back up. Wants to get back up to this standing position. Into the ropes. Comes off in a shoulder block into Aries. And I think that one may have confused him a little. Right back to the headlock and right back to the mat. And we see, our camera shot showed you that Aries had the tights and was holding the tights of Sam Houston, but Houston was able to kick out and tell the referee what was going on. All right, now we can see that there's no doubt that Aries has no problem in using shortcuts. Houston's getting a little frustrated, keeps telling the referee what's going on. The referee has to see it. I think Houston figured out how to handle the problem on his own. Houston, a tall, lanky wrestler. 1, 2. And as you can see, the shortcuts being used by Aries. And now he's got both hands. Both hands full of tights, and Houston now with Aries. And joined now by Jimmy Crockett Jr., the promoter here in the NWA. And Jimmy, I know things are really looking good for the NWA tour coming up the week between Christmas and New Year.
That's right, Joe. We're really, things are falling in place nicely. The Sheriff's Posse over in Sulphur Springs is doing a great job, led by Captain Sam Tatum, and looking forward to being over there on Monday the 26th. Of course, this afternoon over in Fort Worth, we'll have Maniac Mike Davis over there with Harmon and Evans and K-Plex raising, getting some toys for Tot. Of course, you can come down to the Sportatorium tonight. And you children can get in free with 2 cans of food. And
that's right. With an adult ticket, a child can get in absolutely free at the Sportatorium tonight by bringing 2 cans of food. And again, Jimmy, you've got the NWA involved in quite a bit of this fundraising and these charitable organizations.
So down in Corsicana, Larry Evans with the Westside Development Special Olympics and Paul Allman over at the Walmart have really put together a great program, and we're looking forward to being there on the 30th of December. And I tell you what, Sam Houston is going to be down in Corsicana, but if he can survive this, he's got his hands full out there.
He's having some trouble with Aries. Aries, you know, he makes no bones of the fact that he'll pull the hair or hold the trunks or do whatever it takes to get an advantage. And that's what he's been doing in this match that we've got going on right now, is using shortcuts like that to get the advantage. But then he does something like this that just shows you the man can wrestle.
He's an excellent wrestler. And he will just, you know, he'll stoop to nothing to win, but...
All right, a bridge by Houston, and Houston able to take it right into a headlock, but we saw that Aries once again reached for the hair and pulled him right back into that head scissor. And of course, Aries denying he ever did it, but Houston is in a problem now in these head scissors. Well, I think Houston may have found a way out. Unorthodox as it is, but I guess sometimes, Jimmy, you have to fight fire with fire.
That's right. That's why Sam Houston is such a threat to Greg Valentine, is that Sam is not going to take any shortcuts unless you take them, but he will fight fire with fire, as you say.
That's right. He will go one-on-one with you, but if you want to sit there and play games, if you want to sit there and do things like we're seeing in the ring right now, Sam Houston can return the favor, and I think you're right. I think he's a definite challenge for the likes of a Greg the Hammer Valentine for that title.
That's right. Greg thought he'd stopped Sam Houston when he put Buddy Landell out there and says, well, wrestle Buddy Landell, and if you can beat him, I'll give you a title shot. Well, he beat him. Buddy Landell is gone, and now Greg's going,
yeah, who next?
Sam's not going to wait forever.
Oh, Sam with his throat brought right up against the bottom rope there. And you can see he's having a hard time
really
breathing.
Impressive. Sorry, Doc.
Well, you're right, Jimmy. He is. He's very impressive. And like I said, the thing that you have to worry about is 1 minute he's pulling the hair, and the next minute he's got an excellent wrestling maneuver on you. You don't know which way he's going to come at you. You just know that he's coming straight ahead. He's obviously going after the throat. He's been using jabs to the throat, and he's been choking now for the past couple of minutes, obviously trying to stop the breathing of Sam Houston, knowing that if he can stop that oxygen from going to the brain, that he can slow Houston down, confuse him, and get the upper hand. But I think he may just be aggravating Sam Houston.
And Sam's catching his second win now.
There it goes, and now Aries down. Now Aries has got to wonder where Houston's coming from. Uh-oh, here we go for the Bulldog. He signals the Bulldog. Aries brings him up and over. He's very proud of himself, but he gets caught. Aries with a good move, but it backfires, and there's a 3 count.
Great win for Sam Houston.
Sam Houston. Jimmy, let's go back and take a look. He thought he had him in the Bulldog, but he goes up and over, but Aries just looks at the crowd, and Houston comes behind with the Bulldog and gets the 1, 2, 3 for the victory, and your winner is Sam Houston.
Sam Houston, another impressive victory, this time over Aries. Last time we saw you on NWA Championship Wrestling, you hit that Bulldog on Nature Boy Buddy Landell, who was Greg Valentine's hand-picked man to eliminate challengers for that North American title. You and I were talking a little bit in the dressing room, and you say that should move you up the title picture.
You know, I really think it will. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the National Wrestling Alliance for getting me back to the state of Texas, because this is where I call home. Now, what everybody saw on television was me win a match, and the Nature Boy, Buddy Landell, you had the nerve, the gall, and the audacity to split my head open. You may have busted me a little bit, buddy, but I'll tell you one thing. The next time I get you in the ring, I intend to bust your head, your arms, your leg. And Greg Valentine, let me tell you something.
you didn't make a very good choice because he ain't going to be around long.
We'll be back with more NWA action right after this timeout.
The action continues in the ring. Big Al Walker from South Central LA taking on Chris Adams from Stratford-on-Avon in England. Big Al showing off a little bit from the south side, he says, right there on his shirt. Coming in at about 275 pounds, he's going to be a challenge for Chris Adams. Chris is at 238. Of course, Chris Adams has fought bigger men for many, many years. And with his tactical knowledge and experience in the ring, he is quite a challenge. As we heard earlier in this hour, he's looking for Greg the Hammer Valentine. Valentine so far has not been willing to put his title on the line against Chris Adams, but as I said earlier, that day will come, as will Kevin Von Erichs. Chris now with a headlock on Big Al. All right, he's got that headlock and he's holding in there. Al trying to throw him off, and Chris just held on. Walker takes him into the ropes, takes him off, but as you can see, Chris just cinches down on that headlock. And I'm going to tell you, Al better be glad he didn't throw Chris off, because as tight as he's got that headlock, his head could have gone with it. That time he lets go, comes back with a shoulder block. Not able to take Walker off his feet. Tries once again. Walker says, do it again. Chris goes in, comes off with a cross body, but Walker just grabs him. This man is huge. Walker slams Chris Adams. Adams has not been able to get Walker down. Walker misses with an elbow. Finally, Walker off his feet with a drop kick. There's another one. And Walker goes out of the ring. Fans, I've been hearing about a Texas Gambit match. And I understand that the promotion, the NWA, is discussing bringing this match back to Dallas, Texas. There has not been a Texas Gambit match in Texas in quite a long time because of the danger, because of the injuries that are inherent in this match. But I have been hearing all throughout the NWA that the discussion is to bring one back. And we may be seeing it soon here in the NWA. We're going to talk more about this Texas Gambit. You've probably heard of it in its other names. It's been called the War Games, the Carousel Cage Match. It's been called many different things, but it originated right here in Dallas, Texas, about 8 years ago as the Texas Gambit match. It is a way to end feuds. It is a way to possibly end careers. And there may very possibly... Chris Adams with a savant kick to the face of Big Al Walker. We'll be talking more about a Texas Gambit match, but I'm going to tell you, you've never seen one like it, and it could take place right here in the Sportatorium. He's trying to take Walker up. Looks like he was going for a pile driver, but Walker was able to bring him over. And Chris Adams now on his back, coming back to his feet, waiting. Walker was just waiting for him and delivered a huge clothesline. Walker may be spending too much time now talking to the fans. He needs to spend his attention on Chris Adams. Takes Adams, throws him into the ropes. Off he comes, a flying clothesline. Walker very proud of himself. Walker picks him up and slams Chris Adams. Now where's he going to go? He's climbing the ropes. This is a big man to be up on those ropes. Comes off flying, but Adams was waiting for him and literally just baited him, I think. Adams knew that Walker was going to come flying off the ropes. Now where are we going? We're going with a super kick. Walker is down. 1, 2, 3, and Chris Adams, the victor in this match, as he defeats Big Al Walker. Let's take a look. You'll see he sets him up, waits, and then there it is, the super kick, and that brings the 1, 2, 3, and there's your winner, Chris Adams, on today's NWA.
Big action tonight at the Sportatorium. Everybody looking forward to Kevin Von Erich and General Skandar Akbar against Dirty Dick Murdoch. These two gentlemen know Chaz...
Let me tell you something. Situation at hand. We had the little Termite down there putting his nose in where it didn't belong. Studs, we got another match. We got a return match. You, me, the gangster, and the regulator, watch out. We're going to get you again. In the ring, we're going to watch each other's backs. That's all I got to say. Tony, I'm sorry. I had the guy down for the 1, 2, 3. I just don't know what happened.
Hold on, Chaz. You know me apology. Sicilian Dutch. The last time I lost anything was a game of marbles. And I was 6 years old. And when I got beat, I beat him for beating me in marbles. And the sad part about it, he was my brother. And you boys ain't no kin to me or any kin to you. So therefore, we have no obligation to you but to put you out of wrestling and to take you down. 1, 2, 3.
Going down.
The Sportatorium tonight, General Skandar Akbar bringing Kevin Von Erich against Dirty Dick Murdoch.
Understand, Murdoch, I know you like that old proverbial book. I know everything you do in that ring, Murdoch, and I knew in your eyes that you fear the Iron Claw. Everybody should fear the Iron Claw. And you're all worried about Dallas stinking and all the people being destitute. Well, listen and listen good, Murdoch. You better put your mind in that squared circle because Kevin Von Erich will unleash the Iron Claw. And, Dickie, it's all over.
From the first time I wrestled Murdoch for the Missouri State title to right now, it's been an uphill fight. I've had to fight the ghost of West Texas for a long time. Well, let me tell you something, Murdoch. I'm getting sick and tired of you talking about the state of Texas, about Dallas in particular. This is my backyard. These people are my neighbors. And I'll tell you something right now. I'll do my fighting in the ring, and you'd better do the same thing. Now I've got a manager. Now, you want to do something like get involved with a stick, a chair, whatever, a chain like you're known for, jumping me from behind like the gutless dog you are? Now I got a manager. You go ahead and try it. Now it's just going to be you and me. You remember the time I took the Missouri State title from you when I was 17 years old? Well, I still got it, Murdoch. Let's see if you can take it from me now. I don't think so.
You might say Missouri and Texas has something in common. You got a show, Kevin, and you can't do it, Dickie. You can't do it.
And Bambi. Person says that's it. The fans don't think so. Listen to the fans. You can tell who they're behind. One. All right, Bambi close to the ropes, able as a good ring general to use those ropes to stop the count. But Peggy Lee now literally grabs right in front of the referee. I mean, she shows right there the kind of respect she has for the rules. She's going to find out that in the NWA, that is not the way things are done. She takes Bambi, and what she's going to do, she's going to take her, throws her over into the other corner, tries to come in. Bambi moves out of the way. 1, 2, and she kicks out. Once again, it looked like, all right, there's an elbow to the head of Bambi. Peggy Lee now. Oh, Bambi's got that southern temper up. Turns her around into the ropes. Got her up. 1, 2, and Peggy Lee kicks out. I don't know where Bambi is getting the energy after the beating we saw her take in the first part of this match outside the ring. She is thrown outside the ring, and there you can see her down on this concrete floor. Peggy Lee Leathers, of course, Peggy Lee doesn't care if she gets counted out, because if she gets counted out, Peggy Lee will still be the champion. All right, here comes Bambi trying to get back into the ring, and oh! Peggy Lee drops her across that top rope. Referee really getting on to Peggy Lee Leathers, telling her, let her in the ring, let her in the ring. Peggy Lee, of course, just as happy if she doesn't get back in the ring, but she's going to help her, drapes her across the ropes, comes down with that fist. Brings her back again. There it is. I told you, she has absolutely no respect for the rules, no respect for the law. Peggy Lee. Peggy Lee now just stalking Bambi. Bambi outside the ring. Bambi trying to get back up into the ring there. A shoulder. And now she brings Peggy Lee out of the ring. All right, now the roles are reversed, but I'm not sure Bambi knows where she is. She's getting fired up. She charged, in she came. Peggy Lee coming across the ropes. Now she's got her down. 1, 2, she's got her feet on the ropes. No! Peggy Lee Leathers with her feet draped across the rope. That's the kind of